All right, in this one we're going to take a look at the title bar graphic, this one here, and kind of how to go in there and create something like that. Now this one is not as complex as the other one. So you could, if you wanted to, use columns and put in background colors and do it that way. You totally could do that. In some cases that might be better. What it's going to create opportunity for you, though, is the fact that you won't be able to control it as easily with when you want it to stack and so forth, because it's going to have locked in conditions with tables versus adjustable in Smart Slider. The difference is this. Let me slide this over out of the way. The way your site's currently set up, let's go over to pages. I'm under TV production right here. If we go into one of these title bars, you will note that there's a little anchor over here. This anchor is what allows the menu to go where you want it to go. Now, as I mentioned early on, anchors are really old school. Modern websites just don't use them anymore because Google wants you to, if that content's important enough, they want you to put it on its own page. But being that you have combined your information from a multiple page format down to basically 7 pages, then this is the method that we need to use. As a result, though, when you go to put in your Smart Slider, we need to make sure that it maintains that anchor. Okay? So that means changing where it says voice over TV spot and putting your code in there, but we got to make sure we maintain the anchor. Very, very important. So when you get your code after you've created your, your Smart Slider, providing that you're going to do it that way, then you come in here and replace this. Notice how I didn't highlight that. Okay, I just got this, and I backspaced. Whoops, did it go around with it? I guess it did. Yeah, it took it with it. So let me see here. All right, so we might have to do a little backspacing tap dance here. So if we end up doing that, we'll do it there. All right, so let me cancel out of this for right now. Let's go back over to Smart Slider, at least deal with the fundamentals here. So we're going to click on Add New Project. We're going to create a new project, a block because it's not a slider, and then we're going to put voice over TV spot title bar. Now keep in mind, you can use tables for this. This method will give you more control. But if you want to just use tables, I will show you how to do that at the end of this video. Okay? All right, so I'm going to 1400 wide and then only 100 pixels tall. That's the minimum, and we're going to do boxed. Now, I didn't make it any taller because I don't want to. I want the content to inflate my slide. All right, click Create there. Click Add Slide, blank. And then we're going to come in and click Edit. All right, now we're going to come up here and grab 2 columns, and then we need to adjust this. So we're going to take this and drag it over to 20%. You can do the same thing over here, by the way. And then we're going to click in our left column, go to Style, our background color. I'm going to scroll up in your document, and our background color right now is going to be Control C, Control V, and then over here, our background color is going to be, now I made mention of this in a previous phone call together, that this color with white is actually going to flag for contrast error, but I'm still going to assemble this so that you can see how it's assembled. Changing the color is just as easy as clicking on here and changing the color here. All right, now what I also want to do is get rid of this extra padding. This is a title bar. which means I kind of want it to go all the way to the left. And I want it to go all the way to the right. So I'm going to get rid of this extra padding by clicking on that. Notice it pulls up the slide padding, 10%. I'm going to click on here. I got my content padding. Click on content. Get rid of that. I got one more set, which for my row. I'm going to click on that and get rid of that. Every element inside of Smart Slider has padding associated with it. That's part of how it works. Same thing with Elementor and all these others. All right, so now when I put stuff in here, it's going to inflate. Let me scroll down here, and we're going to put in voice over TV spot. So let me grab my tag. I am not going through this particular video and going back and seeing what the fonts are. Right now, we're just dealing with voice over. You don't have it capitalized. I think you should though. TV spot. All right, and then we're going to left justify that. And then you can add some padding to this if you wanted to. Okay, it's a little bit further off to the left, so I'm going to click in here, and we're going to take this up to 20. Okay, that makes it a little more balanced. You can bold, you can change the font, you can change whatever you want here, but whatever you choose to do, you want to make sure you do that in all of them. The way that you're going to do that is when you get done perfecting this one, all you gotta do is duplicate it, change the title, change your content, duplicate it, change your title, change your content, then just drop the shortcodes in where they go. It honestly, it's that easy. One of the reasons why I like doing this is, repeatable results across the site. Over here, we're going to put starting at 950. So I'm going to grab this here. We're going to make this, that's probably a 20 font. And then we're doing uppercase. And come over to our content. Starting at $950. Oops. Just like that. So we got this that's centered, and then this that is left justified. The padding, notice here that this is being inflated because this is inflated. We can make micro adjustments to that as we look at it on different devices. So from next, we're going to come over here and look here. If you're okay on a tablet that it looks like this, then there's nothing left to do. Now I'm going to get rid of some of this right here. Take it down to 5. You can make this a little smaller just by clicking on here and adjusting that down if you wanted to. And then we, of course, look at this on a smartphone. I would recommend taking this all the way down to like 5 here. You can probably make this a little smaller so it lines up like that. Depending on how long it is, you would want to look at doing that because some of yours is a little bit like spokesperson, I think, is a little bit longer. So you might need to go back to this one and adjust the fonts a little bit, only so that they're uniform as someone scrolls down the page, right? Because you could totally go, oh no, I need to add a little bit extra something. The other thing you could do without really anybody noticing is come on over here on the side and taking that down to 10, taking that down to 10, and then you don't have to adjust the spacing up top as much, right? Because this isn't center justified, this is left justified. Now, once you get done with this, you're done. You literally just come back to here, click Save, and then we come over and grab our code, Control C, we go over to our page, and then this is for the voiceover TV spot. I'm not going to keep it this way because this would have to be created for all of them. Right there. But I'm going to come in here. I just want to see. I'm going to hit my, nope, Control V. Let's do it this way. All right, sweet. Now basically what I did is I paste that in. I'm going to get rid of, oh, no I'm not. I'm going to get rid of the extra size here. And then get rid of this, because that's all we really need. And then I'm going to come up to settings. I'm going to get rid of my background color. I'm going to get rid of my text color. I'm going to get rid of the padding, 0, 0 on both of those. And then click apply and then update. Now under these circumstances, because we're not doing this globally, I'm not doing that here, okay? So I'm actually going to cancel out of this and then come back in. All right. Now this is the point in the video where I show you, the next question that people would ask is, can I do this with a table? And the answer is yes, you could. But again, you won't have the capability of adjusting fonts or adjusting breakpoints at different sizes. But you can totally come up here and do a table, just like that. Come in here and grab this one and do table cell properties. We're going to make this one 20. And then click on this one, and then we're going to do table cell properties, and we're going to do 80. And then we're going to take the voice over TV spot words, Control C, and put them right here, Control V. And we're going to come over here and do Control C. And come over here and do Control V. And then we're going to center justify this. We're going to leave this justified to the left. And this, now I'm going to right click in here. We're going to do Cell, Table Cell Properties, Advanced. Now, a couple things that we're going to do here, and this is where, we can see where the modern tools kind of outweigh some of the other stuff, like Smart Slider, is we're going to put a background color in right here. I'm going to scroll up. The dark green is what we're looking for right here. Now, the FF codes do not work in here, so we're just going to put that right there, and then click OK. Okay, so we got our background color right there, and we need to put a hashtag in front of that. All right, now we can come in also, and we'd have to add HTML to get it to space it out to the left or from the left. Click OK there. Now notice this is black. We would want to come in here and take the font color and make it white. We would also want to inflate this up to 32. Now here's the trick. Because you're using global font colors for your heading tags, making this an H2 now gets a little bit more complex. Versus in Smart Slider, you can just make it an H2 no matter what color, what size, what anything. A little bit of a different tools there. This one over here, we'll come in and make this light green. Control C. And then we'll come up here to, we're going to right click in here and then do table cell properties, advanced, background color. Can anybody tell why I like Smart Slider better? All right, so now we have that green. We obviously need to make this white as well, and we're going to increase this font to 20. Now you're like, oh man, these are touching. I know. So we're going to right click and go row, insert row after. Oops, did I do that right? Nope. Columns what we want, I'm sorry. And then column, insert column after. And then this one we're going to come in and do cell, table cell properties, 5%. And then we're going to come in here and shave that off of this one. We're going to make this 75. And then come in here and make this one 20. Okay, still 20, good. All right, and then we're going to come in here, change this background color to white. Okay, and of course you can adjust that by coming in here and changing the percentages. So if that, once you look at it on the front, because this is going to be scrunched up a little bit, right? Because you're looking at my full screen version. Once you look at this on the website at 12 or 1400 pixels, it's going to be much skinnier. So that gap is kind of exploded right now, okay? So I'm going to come in here to my settings, and this is where you would want to make your padding to be a little bit smaller, not much though. You would remove your background color, which let me just do that real quick. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then clear. And then click Apply, click Update. And we're going to look at this page now. Okay, so this is what it would look something like. We can come in and add a space here on the left. We can decrease the size right here. But this would, by definition, be very close to what you want. If you would rather use the column, this column setting, instead of using Smart Slider. Now the next question that you would ask is, what about the anchor point? The anchor point would be down here. We would just grab all of this and then copy that and then put it over here. It should bring the anchor point with it. It did not. Let me see if it won't let me copy just the anchor point. So we might have to do the anchor again, which means we just click right here, copy that, Control C, come over here and hit our anchor, Control V, okay, good. We can get rid of that, we can get rid of that. We can obviously get rid of the extra space at the top. We can come up here and right click and do table cell properties. We'll take this down to 2%. Come over here and change this one to a 78%. And then, see how that looks, right? So then it becomes micro adjustments. Once you get done with everything, then you could totally just come up here under code, grab everything from table to table, and then paste that into the next section and then just replace information. So you're going to have to replace the anchor. You're going to have to replace the text and the text, and then get rid of this, and then click Apply. So it just, again, just like after the Smart Slider, once you create it, you go into HTML and just grab all of the code, versus with Smart Slider, you just duplicate it and get a new shortcode. So that's how you would do something like this with either the actual, plugin. Now I do want to see here, just for giggles, I said plugin, I meant actual just base editor. But I want to look on here and see, this is what it would look like on a smartphone that would require custom CSS to make those adjustments, right? That big gap right there would not be as easily able to turn off as it would be if this was in Smart Slider. Now you can see why I use Smart Slider for modern websites. This is what it's going to do when you dig it down to like a tablet or something, right? So there's a little bit of caveat to where we don't have as much adjustment with using those tables versus doing this on Smart Slider. Nevertheless, that's how you would do that. In this particular case, obviously, though, I'm going to get rid of this because that is not something that's approved to do just yet. And then click Update, put everything back to the way that it was so that you can decide after launch which method that you would like to implement. Obviously, I'm leaning towards Smart Slider, but if you're like, man, I'm so tired of using a Smart Slider, I just want to use the built-in editor, then that's how you would use tables to make it work, or at least function on the basic level the way that you want.